Hi everybody, this is Howard the Teaserking coming to you with week 7 of the NFL, and I'm giving you my strongest game right here, right now, based on the information that I'm seeing. This game's freaking huge, and I know I've been having a rough. It's been a weird few weeks. I've been picking a lot of winners, and then I'll have one game that loses, and it's in my lock, or it's it's in two teasers, and I'm just scratching my head. Like last week, I hit the lock. Seattle getting 8.5. Seattle, as you know, is a road dog, is like 100%. Playing a weak home favorite, Cleveland, it was an easiest lock I've done all year. I put them with Dallas -1 off of 2 losses. And Dallas lets Ryan Arnold look like superstar, or Sam Darnold, or whatever the hell the guy's name is. He won't be in the league in 2 years. He stinks, and Dallas makes him look like a superstar. I was absolutely shocked. Dallas was a strong road favorite. The Jets are a weak home dog. The Jets hadn't won a game. Dallas, after 2 losses, had to win the game. Going to New York, they got the late start, so it wasn't like they're playing in the early morning. Everything was there, but this has been a very strange year in the NFL. I'm almost beginning to believe that nobody can be a favorite. There's no team except for New England that can be a favorite. Everybody has to be a dog, or you can't bet the favorites, because I'm not seeing teams that should win. The Rams lose to Tampa by 15 points, gives up 50 points. What is that? I didn't have the Rams in that game, but I'm just saying, you're getting these very strange things. Atlanta sucks. Kansas City's losing at home to Indy and Houston. It's just, and all these backup quarterbacks. See, this is the problem. You have backup quarterbacks, backup coaches that have never coached before coaching. Could you imagine running a business and you have your CFO and he doesn't know finance, or your CIO doesn't know computers? I mean, that's about what you have here. Is he was a good offensive coordinator. He might be good for the quarterback. So this week I'm making it up for everybody. This is my strongest play of the year going, and it's right here. I'm giving it to you. Here we go. Tennessee's laying 2.5 to San Diego. Over under of 40. Let me just check the 40. Where did it go? Yeah, over under 40. So 2.5 and 40s. So first, if I look at the numbers, I'll look at this year first. So we look at Tennessee. 1-1 is a home favorite. 3-3 overall, with bet against 2-0, against as a home favorite 4-2. San Diego, lousy home favorite, 1-3, as we know, but they're not a home favorite here. They're on the road. 2-0 is a road favorite. 3-3 overall. 6-0 against. 4-0 and 2-0. So whenever they're favored, if you take the other team, you're 6-0. But they're not favored in this game. They're a dog. Let's go back to 18. Tennessee, 4-1 is a home favorite. 13-9 against the number. 4-1 bet against as a home favorite. 15-7 against. Here's where the play starts materializing. Here's a trend. San Diego, 6-1 is a road dog, 86%. 6-0 is a road favorite. 12-1 on the road. Bet against 3-4 is a road dog. When San Diego is a road dog, you bet on them. They play well. They don't like to be the dog. At home, with the stadium crap and everything, they don't know where they're at. They're just not playing very good at home. I don't know why. If it's LA, if it's the traffic, if they're pissed they're not in San Diego, which I would imagine that's a big part of it, is they feel betrayed. But when they go on the road and they get away from all that bullshit, they play. They're a very strong road dog. Let's go back to 17. Tennessee, home favorite, 10-2, not bad, 83%. But bet against them as a home favorite, 10-2, 83%. What does that mean? All their games are close at home. They don't blow you out. They win a little bit. So of the 12 with the teaser, they've won. They're 10-2. But against, you take against, they're 10-2. Here's where you really get into it. San Diego road dog, 11-1, 92% since 2017. 8-1 is a road favorite. 19-2 on the road. San Diego. Bet against San Diego as a road dog. 7-5. Good luck. We'll go back one more year. Tennessee, 14-4, 78% is a home favorite, including 2016. Bet against Tennessee as a home favorite, 15-3 against, 83%. So Tennessee, of the 18 home games they played, 16, 17, 18, and 19, when they've been a home favorite, not home, but home favorite, you bet against them 15-3. Here, San Diego, road dog, since 2016, 16-2, 89%. Bet against them 12-6, not interested. As a road favorite, they're 9-2. They're 25-4 on the road if you bet San Diego. That includes New England. That includes Kansas City. So, well, Howard, the players change and this and that, and the coaches change and da-da-da. This is the point of the trend. This is the point of trend analysis. We don't know what's going to happen, but I can look and see what has happened and go, the personality of San Diego as a road dog is 16-2. That's 89%. I don't know what you're looking at, how you pick your games, but if you can find a better trend that's real than this one, you go ahead and enjoy, because I can't find a better one. Tennessee again is 15-3 against. Now what makes the game even better is Ryan Tannehill, who sucked at Texas A&M, who sucked at Miami. He's going to suck at Tennessee. He's worse than Mariota, and they're starting him. God knows why. Well, San Diego is going to, this guy's not going to blow you out. We're getting 8.5 points. We can lose. It's like Seattle last week. We can lose the game and still win. Seattle could lose the game last week to Cleveland. You still got a W, and they win the game. San Diego could lose this game. Are they going to get blown out? Not as long as Phillip Rivers is playing. You're not going to get blown out. 16-2. Now let's look at the other numbers, my creative numbers. So let's look at Tennessee overall this year. If I can find them. They score 16 points a game. They give up 15 points a game. They're an under team. They don't score. Okay, they give up 15. Who has San Diego played like that? I don't remember their whole schedule. Pittsburgh gives up 22. I don't remember other teams they played. But usually I like to look at how they did against another under team to show you that, they can score. I know they played Pitt, who gives up 22, which is a few more points than that. San Diego gives up 18. I think they beat San Diego. Or Denver. I think they beat Denver. They beat Indianapolis. Let's see their defense. Indy's defense gives up 23. So, again, they're in the ballpark here. Tennessee gives up 15, which is very low. But again, they've been playing, the weak teams in their division. So you got Mariota out. With Mariota, they threw for 220 a game, ran for 102, total offense 323 yards. Now in college that would be weak. In the pros, I'm still considering it weak. The best is Baltimore at 465 and Dallas at 452, although you wouldn't have known it last week. Kansas City's 433. So anything probably north of 375, definitely north of 400 is good. And you've got a handful of, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 10 teams at roughly 400 yards or more. Baltimore gets 31 a game on theirs. New England 32. Frisco 29. So you can see the better teams who put up the yards score a lot of points. So here we got San Diego. They score 20 a game. They give up 20. So they have a very good defense, which is good because that'll keep us in the game. The only way we can lose is if Rivers throws 3 or 4 pick sixes, which he normally won't do. They can run. They got Melvin Gordon back. Hopefully Bosa plays. You never know with these Ohio State guys. Rivers throws for 300 a game. They run for 80, but that's without Gordon. With Gordon, they'll do more damage, and 378. So your fair is, oh, shit, they're playing Kansas City. They're playing New England. They're a road dog. Can they keep up? These guys can score a lot. Well, here, Tennessee scores 16 a game. So if Tennessee scores their 17 a game, and we're getting 8.5, all we need is we need 10 points. We score 10 points, we win this battle. Well, I guarantee you, San Diego scores more than 10 points in this game. Okay, so that's the next thing going for us. So while it is a very good under, it can't match the dog situation in this game. Let me look at. Let's look at San Diego. Look at the quarterback, Phillip Rivers, 6 games, 66.8% of his passes are complete, 300 yards a game, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So he throws a little bit too many interceptions than I'm comfortable with, but still he's 9-6. I have nothing on Tannehill. I mean, Mariota was actually not bad at 7 and 2 touchdowns, interceptions, but I got nothing here on. So I can't even look at a quarterback who's sucked before. Let's look at the running backs. Is there a running back I'm worried about? Tennessee, Derrick Henry, 69 yards a game, 4 touchdowns. Am I really worried about him? Probably not. Let's see. San Diego's running back. They got Justin Jackson, averaged 47 yards, but he's out. And then you got Austin Eckler. Now he's good. He averaged 40 yards a game, 3 touchdowns. And now you got Melvin Gordon, played in 1 game, 12 carries, got 31 yards, and no touchdowns. So they'll start getting him more involved. So I'm not worried about a big running back. Barry Sanders is not on Tennessee. So you've looked at the numbers. You've looked at the quarterbacks. We've looked at the running backs. We've looked at the defenses. We've looked at the stats. I don't know how else to look at a game. Do I have the better coach? Tennessee's got, like Vrabel, a New England guy. None of them are any good. He doesn't have Tom Brady. They're a defensive team. So is San Diego. You could play the game under the 40-46. Probably not a bad play. I don't think it gets there. But the best play, the lock this week, the huge lock this week, is San Diego plus 8.5. Take that to the bank. I guarantee this game. There's absolutely you buy my lock this week. Well, obviously it's San Diego, but I got other locks. I got another 2 in the pros, and I got 3 in college. I got 6 locks. Well, Howard, why do you have so many locks? Because now I have more information. The pros I got down pretty solid right now. I know who's who. Dallas, not so good. Minnesota, pretty good. Detroit, New England, they're the best. And then you got Baltimore, who I don't trust. Frisco's really not as good as they look. Again, the Rams, see what's happening is you think the Rams are good. Frisco beats them. The Rams aren't good. They lost to Tampa 50-35. Okay, who's good? Kansas City. Well, they just lost 2 games. They don't have a running attack, and their defense still sucks. Carolina, they're on McCaffrey a lot. Seattle, very good, but something's wrong with them. Their defense isn't. They don't have Richard Sherman anymore. Maybe Richard Sherman's making a difference at Frisco. Houston, good team. Philly, okay. Rams, okay. Dallas, we saw they're terrible. Minnesota, okay. Green Bay, not as good as we thought. And when you look at it, you go, who are the good teams here? New Orleans, you don't have Drew Brees. They've turned into an under team. Oakland not, Pittsburgh not, San Diego not, Jacksonville. And then you get to the early week teams, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Washington, the Jets, Miami. So the way I used to bet and the way I'd just clean up, back in the 80s, back in the 90s, I'd bet Jimmy Johnson. I'd bet Joe Montana. I'd bet the 86 Bears. I'd bet Lawrence Taylor. You would bet. I'd bet Roger Staubach. I would bet the 70 Steelers. And I'd make a fortune. You knew they were going to win, and anytime you got a line under 8, and you could tease them down to 2, and you'd bury them in 3 teasers. And that's how you played teasers, and that's how you made money. You knew the teams were good. You knew they were going to win. Finding the teams this year, they're just starting to take focus. First of all the coaching changes. Secondly, all these new quarterbacks who have no clue what they're doing. They're rushed in. The GMs are freaking idiots. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have any systems in place. You've got, you've got such bad teams and changes. You've got no preseason. So instead of the players playing half the game in week 2 of preseason, 3/4 of the game in week 3, and half a game in week 4, and then by week 1 they're ready to go, you don't have any of that. They're scared of injuries. Well, guess what? It's football. You're going to get injured. Everybody's going to get injured. So to stop practicing worried about getting injured is freaking ridiculous. Don't play football. So you don't want to get injured, don't play. Go play bowling or tennis or something. You're going to get injured, but you've got to have the practice. So after 4 weeks, which is the preseason, you have more identification on the team. Now we're in week 7. I've got all the teams stone cold. Between all my analysis, I can clearly see this quarterback sucks this year and this quarterback's good this year. They don't have a running game. They don't have a defense. Their coach is stupid. This coach is really good. Oh, all of a sudden the Rams aren't the Rams anymore because they figured out how to handle this team. Plus Gurley's out, as I told you. He hurt his knee last year, played very few. But you didn't realize they had the other running back who's not playing for some reason. And now you realize it's all Gurley. And then the play action off of Gurley. Well, now without Gurley, the defense doesn't react to the play action. Goff is terrible, as I told you when he was drafted. I told you all this 2 years ago. Watch the tapes. And he's a choke. Well, what's he doing now? He's choking. He choked against the Niners. This week, they're actually a favorite at Atlanta, and Atlanta's so bad you don't know what to do with the damn game. So this is the problem. The Rams are 3 over Atlanta. And this isn't my pick. I'm not playing this game. It's just an example. The Rams are playing Atlanta. I can't trust the Rams favored. I certainly can't trust Atlanta favored. The only way I can even play the game closely is the over, because you can't trust the teams. So if you look at my results or my picks, I'm picking more overs and unders because these teams are so bad. It's the only, you can say, well, Chicago's got a really good defense. I'll play the under in the game, like I did with the Oakland game, and I won it on the under. But the Bears lost. You can't even trust the Bears to win. And here's Oakland, who sucks, goes and beats the Bears, and you're like, oh, this makes no sense. So what you have is a bunch of high risk, let's call them high risk stocks for the stock people out there. It's very risky. What do you want? You want gold, right? You want safe haven. I can't trust these teams. How do I bet? Well, you either take a chance and bet I'll take the Rams on the road because they're better than Atlanta. They're not. They're not better. You're looking at last year's team. You've got to get off of last year's team. And this is the problem. It takes you a few weeks. It takes me a few weeks with the lack of preseason and all the coaching changes and quarterback changes to finally get a read on how good's Baker Mayfield. He's been making me a lot of money. I locked the Rams against them, and I locked Seattle against them. And they're favored over Seattle. This team should never be favored over Seattle. Are you kidding me? What a lot. I saw the money go on Cleveland. I laughed. It was like Cleveland was laying 2.5. I make the bet. Then I see during the week it goes down to even. the Cleveland money is coming in. Why? Then finally, game day, Cleveland goes to -1, and it was like I wanted to put another 5 bets on Seattle +7. I mean, it was a joke. But this is the NFL now. You must be extremely careful. You cannot trust a favorite besides New England. You cannot trust 49ers laying 10 at Washington. They're not that good. Washington's not that bad as long as Case Keenum's the quarterback. Without Gruden, they're probably a much better team now. He sucked. He didn't know how. See, they come in with their system, but they don't have their players. So they try to force a round peg into a square hole by putting, we're going to run this offense. Well, they don't know it. They don't fit it. You've got to fit your offense to the players you have. You've got to redesign and say, this is what they're good at. This is what Belichick does. This is what they're good at. This is what they're going to do. He does the art of war, strength versus weakness. He finds the other team's strength and shuts it down. He finds their weakness, takes advantage. Same thing with his own team. He knows his strengths. He knows his weakness. His strengths, Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to handle the game. That's why he does all these. They're running the 49er offense with Montana. All these short little throws. He's not rolling out like Montana would, but they're all basically, that's the run game. They're just 3-yard passes and everything. And the other thing I want to point out is these teams who want to pass the ball, i.e. Kansas City. I don't know what Baltimore's doing. Tampa. There's never been a team that threw the ball a lot that won a championship. Never, because you don't rest your defense. The teams with the strong running backs, Green Bay Packers in the 60s, the Steelers in the 70s, the Chiefs in the 68. Namath ran the ball. Go on to the 49ers. These short little passes were runs. The reason is you need 5-6 minute drives. You need to rest your defense, and you need plays that'll get you in when you hit the 15 to 10 yard line. You cannot throw the ball. These little corner routes. What do you think the defense knows what's going on? What do you think the cornerback's doing? I'm going to watch the pylon. I'm going to, and the safety watches the slant. There's only 2 plays you can run, and there's only 15 yards of field they can go in. You've got to run the ball. If you run the ball and you run it down their throats, they can't stop you. That's how you win. You have to run the ball. But these teams want to play, let's pass, and then what happens? There's turnovers. There's Dan Fouts never won. Raiders won. Why? They could run the ball. The Steelers ran Franco Harris. The 49ers was a short run, and then Washington with Riggins, and the Bears had Peyton, and the Giants never threw the ball with Phil Simms. He was horrible. And then you get into the Jimmy Johnson, and Emmitt Smith ran the ball, and all down and down and down. New England's best they're doing their little running attack with these little short crossing patterns. 5-6 minute drives, they get into the end zone. If you can't get into the end zone, you can't win. If you can't run, you can't rest your defense, you can't win. This is why the Lions keep losing. They can't win because they don't rest their defense. I know I'm going long here and I really don't care. I am getting this off my chest. So what you have there is am I pissed about Dallas losing? Yeah, I'm upset because they were much better than the Jets, and they lost. The excuse of their tackles being lost, who gives a shit? This is pro football. Everybody's so worried about a starter being out. It doesn't matter. They're all professionals. The backup tackles are professionals. This isn't college where the redshirt freshman comes in the game to play because he needs, you got nobody else. Everybody's hurt, and you got to play a freshman. Here you don't. This is professional football. Unless Tom Brady's out, I'm betting New England. Unless, certain key players are out, Pat Mahomes is out, I'm not betting Kansas City. The running back on Carolina, if he's out, I'm not betting Carolina. If Russell Wilson's out, I'm not betting Seattle. There's certain key players. The rest doesn't matter. So that's my point. So what we have here is you have a bunch of basically, I'll call it chaos. You don't have, if I look at the strongest team based on scoring on offense minus scoring on defense, if I look at that, New England's the best team, plus 24. Frisco's next at plus 17. Their record indicates it. And you got Minnesota, who was shaky with Kirk Cousins. He's not a good quarterback. Baltimore, I do not trust Lamar Jackson as far as I can throw him because he doesn't know how to throw. He only runs. You've got all these quarterbacks that do not know how to throw. Josh Allen, half the league, the quarterback, what does he do? There's pressure on him, he runs. Well, guess what? You got receivers down the field who are good, strong, pro receivers. You need to throw them the ball. If you can't throw them to receivers, eventually they'll pull a San Diego, put in 3 safeties and the linebackers. Then when Lamar Jackson wants to run, you got more speed on the defense, stops, and now you got to pass to beat them. I can't believe more teams aren't putting 3 safeties in there like San Diego did in the playoff game. So after minis of 10, Baltimore and Dallas, well, you can't trust them to win. Baltimore lost at home to Cleveland, for Christ's sake. Dallas just lost on the road to the Jets. Carolina, okay, and then you got Green Bay, barely beating Detroit. Kansas City, no defense. Houston, solid dog. Buffalo, I'm not. Chicago, no offense. Seattle, Russell Wilson, but you still can't trust them. So name one team: Philadelphia, then Tennessee, New Orleans, Detroit. Everybody else is 0 or below. Miami's the worst. Washington, the Jets, Cincinnati, Atlanta are terrible, and the Giants. Arizona's not the worst team, which is shocking with their quarterback. So what you have is, okay, name me 3 teams that they can be a road 6 or a road 7. You tease them down to road even. Name me 3 teams you trust in that role. New England, and New England. That's it. I don't trust them. You got Minnesota 1.5 over Detroit this week. I could take Mini in 4.5. I don't trust them. I like the dog in that game. The dog's a beautiful trend in that game. You can't trust Minnesota in that game. You can't trust Baltimore. They couldn't beat Cleveland at home. Dallas couldn't win at it's insane. So my point is, you look for strong dogs. San Diego, strong dog. Houston, strong dog. Baltimore, strong dog. New England, the best dog. Anytime you get New England as a dog, you bet your house on the game. You win it every time. Take that to the bank. That's facts. That's my trends saying that. I'll prove it to you. Since 2013, New England, as a dog, 14-0. They're not dogs often. They're 14-0. Seattle is a road dog, 24-2. KC is a road dog, 24-3. San Diego is a road dog, 36-5. Baltimore is a road dog, 29-3. Okay, that's what you're looking for. That's what you are trying to find. And once you find those, that's, in this NFL, all you can do is trust the dog. Seattle getting 8.5 from a weak favorite Cleveland. As I just spit out of my mouth, there's very few teams you can trust. So that means Cleveland was laying 1 or even last week. So you had to trust that Cleveland was going to win the game. Really? They're going to beat Seattle with Russell Wilson. Okay. Really? Okay, forget the teaser, but with the teaser, they had to beat him by a touchdown. It ain't going to happen. You're not Russell Wilson. You got to kill him otherwise he's going to beat you. I mean, unless he's got broken legs and he's probably still playing. If he's in the game, Seattle is going to make it close. You're not going to bury Seattle with Russell Wilson. It's never going to happen. So that's my point. That's what you're looking for now is live dogs, because there's no live favorites except for New England. Minnesota at home. You just saw Green Bay couldn't handle Detroit at home. So who is the big home team? And if I look, besides New England, Carolina is it. New Orleans probably now is. If I go back to let's go back to 2016. Your best home team, Mini is okay. New Orleans 21-4, Philly 17-4. These are home favorites. New England 26-5. Oakland's actually 10-2 somehow, but they're just not home favorite enough, or the team they're playing so bad that they beat them. But there's a lot more bad home favorites. Bad home favorites: Chicago, Detroit, Tampa, Frisco, Giants, Washington, Tennessee. Miami's 10-0 against. Indy's 15-3 against. So you can see there's a lot more bad home favorites than strong home favorites. So looking at the best trend, the road dog is 186-64, 75% since 2018. If you just bet the road dog, you're going to be 75% right in a teaser, of course. And I don't see, and bet against the home favorite is 182-61, which is 75% there. So it's a big bet against the home favorite, bet on the road dog, which aren't necessarily the same. Anyway, I am just trying to help because ain't nobody making money this year yet, but I'm about to make some big money and go wild because I finally figured this mess out. I did pretty well the last few weeks in the pros. I'm just losing on like Dallas even over the Jets, which I've made that bet 1,000 times since 1975, and I've won it 990 times. When I see a road favorite and I got them even against a shit team, I win it because I know what I'm looking for. So that was shocking that Dallas was atrocious on defense. Okay, what was that? Okay, Mary Cooper went out. Not their defense. Where was the blitz on Arnold? Why was, the guys were so open? Okay, it happened, but that shows you how weak Dallas really is. And everybody's getting skewed by playing Miami and killing them like Baltimore or Dallas. You think, oh, they're a really good team. And then as soon as they play a real pro team, you get that. So that's what you're looking for. Lock, San Diego, plus 8.5. Be happy to give you 4 or 5 other locks this week, no problem. Come to the site, www.teaserking.com. I got 6 locks. San Diego's the biggest lock. Then I got others that are just as strong. Another 2 in the pros, and I got 3 in college. And I got good numbers. I lost the Oklahoma-Texas lock last week because it was 75. The horse was in front of the cart. I saw the game. I go, I'm taking it over. Oklahoma scores 50. Texas played LSU to an 80. It was 45-37. I go, well, that's, they scored 37 on LSU. They're going to put that up on Oklahoma, and vice versa. I knew Oklahoma would score, and then the line comes out 75, and you're like, you already talked into it ahead of time, kind of blinded by, well, it's 75, they got to hit 69, which they would have done if Oklahoma would have just not thrown those interceptions in the first quarter, which is, of course, that's part of the game. It was there. It was doable. Had they played a normal first half, it would have easily went over. And again, but that's what happens. The numbers were too big. This week's locks, the over-unders I'm playing and the teams I'm playing, the numbers are right. I'm not playing an 80 down to 74 or a 38 under 44. I'm playing some pretty good low numbers, that over or under or whatever. So I got some excellent locks in college. College is the same problem, but I'll talk about that in my college video. Anyway, www.teaserking.com. $65 for all my locks. You just got San Diego, my best lock of the year so far. Probably equal to the San Diego lock I had last week, or the Seattle lock I had last week. Again, a weak Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill makes this lock the best lock of the year. He sucks. He sucked at Miami. He sucked at A&M. I don't know what they're seeing in him. They just want to get Mariota out of the game. As far as I know, San Diego, as long as Rivers and Gates are playing, and Keenan Allen and Melvin Gordon, I'm fine. I'll score. I only need 10 points in the game to win it. So again, that's all you can do is you got to bet the games before they're played, and you got to look at the stats, and you got to identify the matchup and what's going on. Anyway, good luck. This will be a huge week. Absolutely. I guarantee the San Diego. If you buy the lock, San Diego loses, I'll give you the next week's locks, or you can have whatever package you want next week. You can have the whole thing's $135 for college, pro, and the locks. You can have that for free. Whatever you want, just take your pick. If San Diego doesn't cover the 8.5, because I'm really pissed off right now. All right, everybody, good luck and have a great week. And we're going to the bank this week. I promise you that.